Hello everyone. In this video, we will cover Python strings. After going through this set of videos and your uh, corresponding textbooks, you will be able to effectively use built-in string functionality in your Python program. You are going to use string in many of your day-to-day programs. For example, when you parse a text file or when you try and process web pages or documents of any kind. So not only from a jam perspective, where there will be several questions around the built-in functionalities and other aspect of strings, getting mastery over certain specific functionalities around a string will help you write efficient and effective program. Let us deep dive. In Python term, a string is a sequence of characters enclosed in single, double or triple quotes. When you are having triple quote, it will typically be for multi-line string. As we have introduced the idea of mutable and immutable Python objects, strings are also immutable. What does that mean? Once created, their values cannot be changed, and in case you try changing the string values like other immutable objects, you will get another copy of it created. So as you can see, right, if you want to declare hello world, uh, first string 1 is under single quote, string 2 is under double quote, and string 3 is under triple quote. You can play around built-in string functionality. Primarily, you can index and slice strings by specifying an integer offset. So the string 1 that you had initialized to hello, if you want to access the first character, that will be capital H, right? So string 1 and then you access the first one. As you might be aware by now, -1 is used to index from the end. So -1 typically in this case will be your last character, and for hello it will be a small o. Slicing is retrieving part of the string, and here for string 1, if you type start and end, where end is exclusive. So if you are having string 1 as hello world, as you can see below in this example, and if you try to retrieve string 1 from index 0 till 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So if you see, since strings are counted starting 0, and that's what that you mean that and is exclusive, means it is not included, right? So the using 0 as a base count, your fifth one will be word a small o, and that's why you get from 0 to 5 hello. Minus fifth word from the right will be w, and if you take all the string from there till end, because whenever you don't specify end after the colon semicolon, that will be considered as till the end of that string. So you'll get word, right? So using start end as well as trying to retrieve the strings from begin and end, you can play around and make yourself comfortable with variety of slice and dice built-in functionalities provided in strings. If you want to traverse, you can do that with either of for or while loop. So if you can see on the right side, right, uh, of this slide. So if you write for character in Python, and if you print character, every line will have one individual character. So Python. If you want to set it up using while loop, so you will be having some initializer I is 0, then you initialize your string 1 is Python, and then you set up your condition while I is less than length of string 1, you print ith index of that string, right? What will be length of string here? 6, right? So while it will start at 0, string 1 of 0 will be here, capital P, then I will be increased in this state, right? So then you'll access the first one, which will be Y. Then again the next one, which will be T. Then similarly H, dot dot dot, till you will reach actually the fifth iteration where you'll access N. Okay, so you can traverse around using both for and while loop variants. Now we will look at some of the common string operation. So one of the very common string operation is concatenation. What concatenation means? So if you have two strings, say hello and world, and if you use a plus operator on that, they will get concatenated to hello world. You can try some of these in your Jupyter notebook or console, whatever you are accessing, and see what happens. Repetition, you might have seen it when we are actually printing characters or stars in certain fashion as well. So when you actually use into and some number, that particular string will be repeated that many times. So if your string is hello, and if you write string 1 into 5, it means hello, 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 hello. 5 repetition of it. The third most common string operation is membership. So you can actually use in, or you can use not in. So A in apple, right? So since A is present as the first character here, right, it will come as true. Jade, not in apple. Interestingly, this is also true. Why? Because Jade is not found, and a not of not is true. So with this common concatenation, repetition, and membership operations, let us have a quick look. There are uh, several methods supported as built-in function over strings, and some of these that you'll be using quite commonly, and will be also tested in your theory exam. Len, length, right? So length will give you length of the string. For example, if you are looking for length of Python, what will be 2 to 4 to 6. Then lower, it will convert to lower case, right? What will happen? If you apply lower to capital H and that is small ELO, all of this will get uniformly converted to lowercase. Similar one will be upper one, right? It will convert everything to uppercase. So like you can see hello here. Strip is used to remove leading or trailing spaces, right? So as you can see here, right, both you have leading as well as trailing white spaces here, right? If you apply strip on this, it will actually remove those empty spaces. And then another common thing is replacing the substring. So the one that you are seeing here is replacing on one individual character for another. For example, in Python, if you try replacing y to y, it will become PITHON. And then you can actually replace the substring as well. So in this slide, we cover some of the commonly used string operation, that was concatenation, repetition, and membership operators through in and not in. And on string methods, we briefly reviewed length, lower, upper, strip, and replace. Let us look at how you can write user-defined functions around built-in functionalities of string as supported in Python. So the very first program is about checking whether a string is palindrome or not. So what is palindrome? Something that reads same both from left as well as from right, right? So what are some of the very well known palindrome? Think about it. There are numerous. Let us actually look at the one that we are having on our screen, right? Madam. So from left, what you read here in case of madam? M-A-D-A-M. And from right, what you read? M-A-D-A-M. So if a string is palindrome, it will read the same from left and from right. In this particular example, I have shown a very shortened version of it, because if you look at by using in indexing from end using this operator, so what it does, it refers by the offset used here. So since you are using one, so what it will do, it will actually put rightmost in leftmost, right? And then it will traverse. So once you have done it, your string yes will be as it is from left to right, and after using this particular operation, it will reverse from right to left, and then we are checking it through an equality operator, right? Equal to equal. If both left from left and from right they read the same, then that means that that particular string is a palindrome. But I'll advise you writing over simple while loop, right? So you can set up a loop over the length of the string, right? You can have a pointer at the begin and then use the offset of the string length to get the rightmost one. Compare. If they are same, right, continue, otherwise you break, right? And you can set a variable is palindrome as false, so that unless actually you have traversed the whole list, whole string, it will always, if it is breaking immature, then in that case it will be having a value set as false and you'll get the right result. As far as checking with this one, you can check with madam, you can check with hello. Madam will give you a output true, hello will give you output false. Let us look at another one. Replace vowel with star. So what is vowels? A, E, I, O, U, and we are actually, let us say, want to make it case insensitive, right? So let us say we have declared our vowels as A, E, I, O, U, and then capital A, E, I, O, U, right? Here, okay? So our question is replace vowels with a star. How you can do it? You can actually take the string S, right? And then what you do for V in vowels. So what will happens? You have declared your vowel string to all the individual alphabet, both in lowercase as well as uppercase. So individually you will get a small a first, right? In the first iteration, you will be having a small a, right? And then when this line will be executed, what will happen? It will replace from this string S, which is passed to it as an input, right? And it will replace this current V, which is A by a star, E, right? So if there is any instance of E, we do have in this string. So for example, hello world, right? So the first instance of E, right? This will get replaced with a star, A, E, I, O, U. So O will get replaced with a star, and others will not be, right? A, E, I, O, U. Yeah. So this one. So that's why you'll be having H star, LL star, W star, RL, D. So primarily, if you see, most of the you know uh, code that will be tested in your exam, both theory and practical, could be around simple iteration and then applying built-in functionality. Now let us say count character, right? So you in a given string, yes. So for example, here we are calling it with banana, and we want to count all the occurrences of A. So this one is by using the built-in function, where for this string yes we have count, use the count of each character, right? But you can also use simple loop and compare if the current character is equal to, if current character in your string, right? So more like say for, right, for A in AS, right? Okay, if A is equal to CH, then you increase that count, right? And then you can return it. So you can try with both built-in as well as simple iteration and other things. Do keep in mind, first you should bring efficiency by writing basic code, so that you are confident about repeating it in your theory as well as practical exam. Let us look at some of the other built-in functions. So we have find. Find will return the index of the first occurrence, right? So if you are looking E in hello, it will return 1, right? Count occurrence of a substring, right? So that's what we tested in last time. So in banana, you can count the occurrence of A, right? So that will be 3. It starts with, so it checks whether a string starts with some substring. Whether hello starts with HE, yes. Ends with, whether hello ends with O, true. So you can use this find, count, starts with, ends with as well. Okay. Now, another important category of built-in functions are around is splitting, right? So what split does? Split basically helps us split the string into a list of substring based on delimiter. And if you don't provide any delimiter, that will be by default a space, right? So in this particular case, if your text is Python is fun, and if you want to split it on a space, What all character, what all word subword you'll get? Python is fun, right? Now it also supports write split or R split, where you can provide on which character, right? So say here we are doing with comma, and we are actually looking at individual split, right? So from right it will get cherry, and then apple and banana will be separate. Left split is as such not supported, but you can get the same index by splitting it with a similar structure from the left. Okay, so we now covered string splitting and their subtle variations. Now, index is again used quite commonly, right? So there are two variations of it. One is find. So when you call find on a string with a substring, or what you'll get the return the index of the first occurrence of a substring. If substring is not found, it will return -1. So for example, if in banana you are searching for A, it will be the first character from the left. If you will be searching for Z, it will return -1. R find does the same, but range of value error in the substring is not found. Index, sorry. So index is similar to find, but it will actually be returning a value error. So sometime if you want to actually handle and act on the absence of uh, the specific substring, you can use index, right? So you can use and variation of index will be R index. So what you need to keep in mind, find and index are one and the same, except that index will raise a value error if it is not found. So we have now come to end of uh, this module. In the subsequent video, we will look at some of your previous year as well as certain questions that is as per your textbook. Stay tuned to the next video, where actually we'll be using these functionalities around built-in functionalities and other traversal and other utilities that we saw around string to solve real world problems that are tested in your exam. Thank you. Do like and subscribe this channel if you see it helping you in some way.